Greetings, my warriors of Fannie and Freddie Mac. So, yesterday's video caused some interesting comments on all sides. So, the video was about me uh, telling that it is possible and, in my opinion, probable that stock will go $10,000 per share of Fannie and Freddie Mac. And there's a reason why I explained in the video, and I would like there was like several comments that said that it cannot be, and there was I thought it will be. I didn't thought it will be any opposition. It is more like no, it cannot. Like when Amazon was $2, would somebody say that Amazon will be 2,000? They would say no, it cannot. But why I think it will be, I explained in the previous video, and I will repeat some of the points again. First, I would like to answer about the question about earnings per share, and in case the earnings per share are important for the stock price. Yes, they are. In the number of the companies, it is. That is the value how the companies are evaluated. But that doesn't mean that every company is valued that way. And simply we have I call that mechanics of the market. It is like, yes, there are fundamentals, but there is also mechanics of the market. Market behaves as it does because of the number of the reason. Sometimes it's demand and supply, sometimes it's just the trend, sometimes it's the hype. So it is different. And for Fannie and Freddie Mac, in my previous video, I talk about actually mechanic of the market. So if you disregard, because number of the companies disregard what is earning per share, and the companies are losing the money and they have insane valuations. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have actually good valuations, they don't have good valuations, but they have good earnings per share, they have good income, and they still are in a bad earnings per share, like bad valuation of the company. Doesn't mean that means that it can be where it is supposed to be, and it can means also that it, as it is depressed now, it can be pushed up in the future. So we can say that earnings per share have its own weight, and profit of the company has its own weight, but it is not always the effect and doesn't always represent the real price and fundamentals of the company. It can be something else, like it is right now. The company is making profit per year more than it is market capitalization. It can be the case that company is making the amount, like it is normally standardly evaluated on a P ratio of 18, for example, or it can happen that it has much higher P ratio. That much higher is also possible, and it happened, and it is happening. So my idea was that, as you said, that company do the buyback. It is, in that case, we can disregard the dividends. We can disregard and evaluation based on dividends. We can disregard evaluation on any other way, because the demand and supply are the highest and most important factors in the price of the share. That is unquestionable. Everything else is as it is. And I can say that eventually, yes, the market will adjust, the market will go. But for a number of the companies, it didn't adjust. It just went up and stayed high. For example, I gave the example of Berkshire Hathaway. It is the company that make some profit. Let me say, it makes some profit, not enthusiastically. It makes how much? 17 or 30 billion dollars. Let's say 30. And somebody say, oh my God, it's a lot of money. But the same company have $350 billion cash. If they took the $350 billion cash and put in S&P 500, they would have more. So for the company that is evaluated as a Berkshire Hathaway, they need to have more profits, and they don't. But why it is so valuable? Because of the share buyback. Since the beginning of the time, since the company took and was founded, they didn't pay the dividend. All the time they did pay the share buyback. And if the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac do the same, the price will be insane. Just think, let me repeat again, that if the company, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, both together have $30 billion, so they have $30 billion, so they have like profit $30 billion. So $6 billion they can put on a side for whatever. They can put for reinvestment, to stability, for whatever they want. It is like, so they have $24 billion profit together. And they can, last video I talk only about Fannie Mae, but I talk now about both. So they have $24 billion profit. They can take that $24 billion and do the buyback shares. That will decrease supply. Exactly. If the supply is decreased, the price will rise. It will rise to a certain point. I'm not sure how much. Let's say it will only because of that buyback. But I talk about buyback of $2 billion per month for both companies. $2 billion. That is higher than current volume of the shares. So it is huge buyback. That will decrease the supply of the shares, because people know that it will be buyback, let's say like next 2 years, and pull to get out on the, and as soon as we have uplist and they said we don't plan to give the dividends, but we will take and do the buyback for the money we have. So we know, everybody knows that price will go up. That will increase the supply. That will increase the demand of the shares. And if the demand is increased and supply is decreased, we have like a boom. At one point of time, let's say in a year, and that is reality, in a year, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will be listed at S&P 500. If they're listed at S&P 500, another layer of demand is appearing. That is from institutional investors, from the ETFs that must buy. They must buy the shares, no matter what the price is, because they don't evaluate the company. They are buying simply because the S&P requires that they have the shares. So at the moment when it is in S&P 500, actually before that they will start buying. At the moment when it comes to S&P 500, it is like unlimited demand. Not unlimited, but they will buy. They have to buy. That's it, because if it is listed in S&P 500, you have SPY and QQQ ticker. They need to have that. So, but with $2 billion buyback and that and our speculations, because if I know that they will do the buyback, if I know that it will be listed on S&P 500, would you invest in that company? And do you know, just for speculations, not to talk, is it good company or bad? If you know that company that makes, I talk together again, $30 billion, will invest $2 billion in the buyback program. $2 billion per month in a buyback program. And in a year, it will be listed in S&P 500. Would you buy that? What do you think the price would be? That is the situation that we have now. Amount of the shares that we have on the market right now is 2 billion for both companies. Government have 8 billion in warrants. They're illegal. It's not right to have them, but they do have them, and they will execute them, no matter how I don't approve. I'm irrelevant. They have the power. They have the paper. They will most probably do it. I don't like, but it will. So, and during Davos, they will sell 5%. So they have 75% more. And that 5% that they sell, that's 500 million shares. It goes into institutional investors that will never ever sell it. So though that Scott Bessent will not sell to Dragan and John and Mike, and no, it will sell to the investors and to institutional investors who will never ever sell it. So that is locked. We still have like 2 billion, 500 million is probably allocated in a Pershing Square. Burry has that. Couple of big funds have it. They don't plan to sell it. So effectively, we have 1.5 billion. 75%, 7.5 billion, they will not touch it right now. So that some percent, when the price start to go up, some percent will sell. Some good percent like me and good people who think about the future will take long against the shares. Pull out some money but still have the shares. Hope you're the one of them. The price will go up. When the price reach the level that Scott Bessent and Horwick and Pulte think that it is good, they will start to sell 7.5 billion. And they don't need to sell all. They need to sell some. Probably because they expect dividends. Like maybe they will sell all. It depends. It doesn't matter. They will evaluate. If the stock price reach 50,000, probably they will sell all. If the stock price reach 10,000, they will sell a good part. But eventually, so if it is 10,000 and they have 7.5 billion shares on a 10,000, that is how much? It is, let me calculate. I calculated, but it's so a lot that I don't even want to say. So you can calculate by yourself. And whatever you get, that is the number. But it is so big that I am afraid to say. So they have, let me repeat, 7.5 billion shares they will have left. If the price reach 10,000, what is possible? Calculate how much. You multiply 1 by 2. So 10,000 times 7.5 billion. Okay. It is unreal number. But it is. As I said, the whole idea is that if they do the buyback, that it is possible to be 10,000. How much is 10,000? Let's settle that. That is 10x and 10x and 10x. So we have now 10. On 10x we'll have 100. And that is the realistic price. On 10x, 100 is normal price for that share. That is like, if you calculate like this, like it will be 100. So from that, 1,000 is 10x. Plus at the hype, that is 10 more. So it is possible. And it is excellent number. So just take and multiply 7.5 billion, because they have 7.5 billion shares. They will have after the uplist and after selling 500 million shares. Multiply with 10,000. That is how much they will be able to pull out. It doesn't matter that will be the number, but as I said, like S&P 500 have to buy it. They must buy that share because of the requirement. It's not some speculation. Oh, maybe they will buy it. No, you tie the supply, put the demand, and you hit it. Not that lines cross like this. They will cross like here, and that is 10,000. Enjoy.